For almost 3 years, Oprah Winfrey stayed silent, no interviews, red carpet whispers, not even an off-the-record hint about the woman who once sat across from her in that now infamous Montecito garden, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex. Back then, Oprah handed Meghan the most powerful stage imaginable, a primetime special with no restrictions, no challenges, and no editing. Meghan used it to weep, to accuse, and to rewrite her story. The world watched. Viewers called it a cultural moment. But even then, behind the scenes, there were signs something was off. In July 2025, Oprah has quietly confirmed what many insiders have speculated for years. I should have never trusted her. That single sentence, reportedly shared off-camera during a recent Apple TV Plus taping, has exploded online. And what came next? A chain reaction. Former producers, stylists, even longtime-owned staff, all began speaking out. Some say Oprah felt betrayed. Others say she felt manipulated. But the one point everyone agrees on, this fallout was personal. Because when Oprah speaks, it's never for shock value, it's because she's seen the truth. And according to sources, there was plenty we missed in that rose-covered garden. Let's not forget every removed tweet. False statement and polished PR correction takes serious work to uncover. Want to support the team digging deeper? Hit that join button and become a member. We'll keep pulling back the curtain on what they won't show you. That sit-down with Meghan and Harry was meant to be a legacy moment for Oprah. A massive, raw, unfiltered interview. A return to journalistic glory with Meghan and Harry at the center of a bold new media chapter. But behind the camera, Oprah was shaken, and she knew it early. A former Harpo producer says that just days after it aired, Oprah told her inner circle, "This wasn't journalism, this was PR. I gave them the mic, and they ran the show." The criticism began subtly. Checkers flagged discrepancies. Palisades leaked rebuttals. Public opinion began to shift. But Oprah? She stayed quiet. She doesn't issue regrets a zillion, unless there's a reason. And now we know what that reason was. According to insiders close to Apple TV, Oprah recently confided in a guest, "I've interviewed presidents, survivors, criminals, saints, but never someone who weaponized my trust like that. Never." She didn't say Meghan's name. She didn't need to. The internet ran with it. That one line, "the biggest mistake of my broadcasting life," has become headline fodder and a cultural moment in itself. This is the same woman who built a reputation on intuition, on gut instinct, and now she's admitting she ignored it. Why? Because Meghan played the role perfectly, and Oprah somehow let her guard down. The interview aired March 7th, 2021, but most don't realize Oprah had reservations before the footage ever hit screens. A former CBS affiliate editor claims Oprah asked for early access to the final cut 2 days in advance, to change anything but to assess the tone. She reportedly watched it twice, first in silence, and again, increasingly concerned. One producer said she whispered, "This won't age well." What triggered her concern? Not the bombshells about racism, not the mental health revelations, not the royal titles dispute. It was the chicken coop scene. The hens, the pastoral charm, the humble staging. Oprah knew the image was meant to project relatability, also knew it had been staged. The coop was installed days before. New fencing, new paint, Archie's chickens freshly labeled. That's when she allegedly muttered, "They don't want transparency, they want control." Oprah had hoped for raw truths. Instead, she got curation. Still, she let it air. Why? According to one OWN team member, Oprah doesn't pull plugs. She lets people reveal who they really are. But it wasn't just what was captured on tape that raised red flags. It was what Meghan did when the cameras stopped. As the crew began packing up, thinking they'd wrapped a career-defining project, Meghan reportedly approached a Harpo staffer. Not to say thank you, but to make a request. "Just make sure I get a look at the final edit," she allegedly said. "Oprah will understand." The assistant, confused no guest had ever asked for, that escalated the request to the executive producer, who brought it to Oprah. Her answer, "Absolutely not. This is my platform, not Meghan's, not the palace's." That was the first real fracture. But Meghan didn't stop. That same night, she allegedly sent a message through a third party, repeating her request and asking to ensure the framing aligns with her truth. Her truth. That phrase, sources say, grated on Oprah, who had spent decades building a career on vulnerability, reality, and unfiltered emotion. Meghan, in contrast, wanted narrative control from behind what one staffer called a palace-branded privacy wall. The production team was stunned. One producer reportedly said, "We weren't making a documentary, we were producing a PR. Pizzand we didn't realize until after." Oh. Oprah never responded directly. But behind closed doors, everything changed. If Meghan was willing to challenge Oprah, who else had she manipulated along the way? Just days after the interview aired, social media exploded. Clips from the broadcast flooded timelines. Meghan was celebrated as courageous. Oprah was suddenly trending on every platform. But while the internet celebrated, Oprah remained quiet, not basking in glory, but observing. And then came a message that, according to insiders, changed everything for her. It was a text from her longtime friend Gayle King. It read, "You weren't the only one she played. Just wait." At first, Oprah thought Gayle meant producers or network execs, but Gayle clarified soon after. "She pitched me the same idea. She pitched you. Same buzzwords, same charm. I passed. It's a pitch. A documentary series." A 3-part redemption arc for Meghan, focused on motherhood, charity work, and life beyond the monarchy. Sound familiar? That's because Meghan had originally brought the exact concept to Oprah, word for word. What stunned Oprah wasn't the project, it was the duplicity. She allegedly told her team, "I thought I was helping her share her truth. Turns out she was building a brand." That's when the regret began to settle in. Didn't hold back either. She reportedly told Oprah she's not searching for allies. She's scouting for hosts. From that moment on, Oprah stopped backing Meghan. More insider quotes. No more coverage on OWN, and absolutely no plans for a second interview. But it wasn't just Gayle's warning that stayed with her. It was what she learned next from someone within Meghan's own circle. A woman with no agenda, no social media following, no press ambitions. She didn't want her name public. She spoke to Vanity Courtroom Confidential quietly. And what she revealed shook Oprah deeply. The woman, a stylist who dressed Meghan for the interview, said Meghan was polished on camera. But when filming ended and the glam team left the set, her tone changed. It was calculated, she said. She actually said, "Oprah gives the credibility I give this story. That's the trade." There was no warmth in how she spoke of Oprah, no gratitude, no respect. She used her, the stylist stated flatly. And I think she knew it the whole time. The stylist added something that haunted Oprah. Meghan allegedly joked, "All I had to do was pause and look sad." Oprah would fill the silence. For someone like Oprah, whose brand has always been rooted in authenticity, empathy, and truth, those words cut deeper than any public criticism ever could. She told her team that interview wasn't about being real, it was about rehearsed moves. But it didn't stop there. As it turns out, Meghan had already drawn concern from someone close to Harry before filming even began, roughly 3 weeks before the special. Oprah received a private message not from staff or media, but from a woman close to Prince Harry, a longtime friend, known for her discretion. Sent Oprah a quiet warning. "Please tread carefully," the message read. "Meghan's truth isn't the truth. You deserve to know that before filming." At the time, Oprah dismissed it. She had done her homework. The questions were prepared. Canceling a global exclusive, based on vague caution, didn't seem logical. But after hearing what her team and the stylist shared, that warning landed differently. "I should have asked more questions," Oprah later admitted. "I didn't want to break her down." Exactly what I enabled. Then came the final blow. Oprah began to hear murmurs that, post-interview, Meghan's camp had started shopping around for a follow-up another major platform, another round of revelations. Worse, they were framing it as Oprah wasn't enough. That was beyond. Betrayal it was a calculated move. Oprah saw it clearly now. She had been used not as a partner, but as a platform. Just after 6 p.m., Oprah picked up the phone, not to call Meghan, not even Harry. She called her executive producer, the same woman who had crafted many of Oprah's landmark interviews. According to team insiders, Oprah's tone was calm, but unmistakably firm. No more. Meghan, no more Harry, we're done. The producer, surprised, asked what had changed. Oprah didn't explain in detail, but said clearly, I opened my platform in good faith. What they gave wasn't honesty, it was theater. Her anger wasn't only personal, it was for the viewers. When someone sits across from me, she said, people believe they've earned that seat. This wasn't just about me, it was about trust, and that trust was hijacked. The producer asked if Oprah wanted to go public. She paused, then said quietly, they've made a brand out of being voiceless. Won't hand them another microphone. That was the turning point. Not just in Oprah's stance, but in how Hollywood saw Meghan and Harry. Suddenly, the same doors that had once opened effortlessly began to close. The ripple effect came fast. No headlines. No press releases. Just silence. The kind that speaks. Louder than anything else. Invitations stopped arriving. Publicists stopped responding. Here at a major streaming service put it bluntly. If Oprah's out, so are we. Not worth the fallout. But the moment that shook Meghan came weeks later at a high-profile Hollywood charity gala. She arrived expecting to be treated as the main attraction. But as she walked the VIP corridor, 3 well-known actresses' former peers turned their backs. One told her assistant, let her know I'm skipping photos tonight. Then, at her table, Meghan noticed the worst sign yet. The seat beside, hers reserved for Viola Davis, sat empty. Viola had asked to be moved. Meghan knew the reason. Behind the glitz, people were talking. The whispers had become real conversations, and the new label, untrustworthy, difficult, master of the narrative. That night wasn't a one-off. It marked the beginning of a wider unraveling. In the weeks after the gala, Meghan made efforts to fix things, quiet outreach, friendly messages to former allies, indirect feelers sent to Oprah's team, but the responses were cold if there was any response at all. A producer close to Oprah described the final message Meghan received. It came through a shared contact. Trust once broken doesn't get a second broadcast. That was it. No conversation. No redemption arc. No second chance. For Meghan, this wasn't about facing the public's disapproval. She'd weathered that before. The real hit was being cut off from the industry she thought she had mastered. The same Hollywood that once crowned her a symbol of reinvention now viewed her differently, not as a survivor, but as a tactician who miscalculated. Because when Oprah Oprah looks someone in the eye and says, I should have. Never trusted her. The whole town listens. It remembers. Meghan, once a modern royal icon, is now navigating something much harder to recover from. Not scandal, not exile, but irrelevance. And in this world, silence isn't just avoidance. It's the final word.